This is Yorkin, the Yoshkin, bringing you a Splatoon 2 video? What the heck? Yeah, I kind of dropped this game like 6 months ago, but I had a lot of recent comments and videos on my ranking up video, so I thought I might as well make a second part to it. Well, I'm gonna go straight into the meat and potatoes of this video. We're gonna discuss how ranking up is. Ranked actually does. We're actually going to explain leveling system too, but first I'm going to do the ranking system. First off, ranking is not very hard in this game. From what I can gather, I only put in about 4 hours so far, but I'm A- on tower control, which is my highest one, and B on Rainmaker, and everything other than tower control only put in about 40 minutes, so yeah. But the ranking system goes this: after C minus, which is essentially placements, which you rank up, which you keep leveling up until you actually get out of C minus. You can go to C, C plus, B minus, even B, from what I can understand, or even higher if possible. Once you get out of C minus, which is your placements, you're going to be greeted with a bar on your leveling bar. Yeah, you're gonna, like a little sliver of a line. It's a bar. With that bar, you are supposed to pass the bar before you give too much damage to your leveling bar. Damaging your leveling bar will most likely, because I don't know because I haven't experienced this myself, most likely derank you if you are below the OK mark. It will say OK if you pass it. If you're on the line, it will say OK. Like, ookie. Once you pass the leveling bar, you can still damage it. And again, fortunately for me, unfortunately for you, I don't have any, I can't show you any way of me damaging, the leveling bar too much. Like, it actually draining or anything like that. But from what I can understand from this system, if you damage it too much and you're past OK, you're going to stay in the same rank, but your leveling bar is just going to go all the way back down to 0. That's what it's insinuating, because I could still damage it after I pass OK. I just was really close one time, but I got my win, so I went up to A minus, and it was perfectly fine. Now, I'm actually going to talk about each and every one of the modes. I'm going to start how they were released, like Splat Zones and Tower Control, Rainmaker, and finally Clam Blitz. So with Splat Zone, if you have to compare it to any mode in the game, it has to be like Domination from Call of Duty or King of the Hill from, let's say, Overwatch. Your objective is to control a certain point for a set amount of time. Once you control the point by splatting it around with the ink you are, shooting from your gun, the timer ticks down. If you lose the point while you have it, you will get an additional timer. This timer almost brings it back up to 100 seconds. Now, 100 seconds isn't like, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Each second is around a half second. You don't notice this until you're actually looking at the clock and you're looking at the little meter, but each second is about a half a second, so somebody can win this fairly easily. Note, you being on the point does not interrupt the timer. You have to splat around half of the point to stop the timer and get most of it to actually take the point. You cannot get on the point like, rush point. Nope. If they kill you, if you're on point and they still have the timer, then it's perfectly fine. You can just, you just got to get them off the point and make sure they don't splat enough. But as long as they don't take the point, you don't get any extra time. This mode is fairly simple. This is actually the mode you see kind of the most arrow sprays with, because honestly it has the fastest fire rate. It's a bullet hose essentially, so it splats a lot of the area. It's good for this mode, honestly. A lot of people don't like the arrow spray any much. I used to like it when I was on the first game, the golden variant of it, because it had the ink strike, and that was very good for the game. I'm kind of mad that most of the specials kind of suck in this game. I only really like 2 Tenta missiles and the bubbler. I mean the baller, not the bubbler. The bubbler was actually a good version of the ink armor. But hey, we can't have everything good in this game. Splat zones is fairly simple. Yeah, just take the point. If you have the lowest amount of points before the 5 minutes let off, then you win. Simple as that. Now, tower control is a bit weird. If anything, you have to compare it to, say, Overwatch and the payload, but this is a bit more tricky. Since you're on a symmetrical map, the tower is actually on is actually in the middle of the point, and you have to bring the towers who the enemy spawn. Now, the longer you go to the enemy spawn, the harder it's gonna get, due to the fact of the enemy spawn, they're gonna respawn faster. You got around a 6 to 7 second respawn, accounting for when you die, and then it zooms into the enemy. About 6 to 2 seconds, even though it says 5, it's about 6 to 7 seconds. So you get closer to the point, and this game does it a bit differently, with the tower actually being set at a certain point. It's around 3 points around the map. There's one close to where it starts, there's one in the middle, and there's one near the enemy spawn. The one near the enemy spawn is the one that's gonna trip you up a lot, because they just keep spawning back. Jesus Christ, it gets annoying. But this is by far my best mode. Honestly, I love the dualies. You'll see only dually gameplay from this. Dualies are great at engaging on this payload. I'm just going to call it a payload for the rest of the video. It's great engaging on the tower. Now, another weapon you have to look out for, and this one honestly is the only weapon I see used in this mode. Like, it's not used in any other mode. I've seen, like, one person probably will have a sniper. A charger, that's what the game calls it. Be wary, because you only have this little pole to like shuffle around, and if they get a direct hit on you, it's lights out. There's nothing you can do about that. Yeah, just be wary of snipers. You can close the gap and, well, deal with him, but it's just about it. But that requires you getting off the payload, and since there's no like team chat, a voice chat in this game, you can't just tell your teammate, hey, you stay on the payload, I go deal with that sniper. Sometimes they're gonna feel, yeah, they're gonna get off the payload when you do it. I don't know why. When you just want to flank around them and actually take out the snipers and take out some of their men, so you can get the point faster. Also, this is probably my most struggled gameplay to get on tower control, because I already played tower control before I stopped playing the game, and tower control was a really fun mode. I stopped playing tower control before I started playing the game. I started playing the PlayStation with tower control, but I wasn't recording, so tower control is probably by far the most difficult gameplay I have on me playing, but it was still fairly easy to rank up in. Like, honestly, C and B rank is nothing. Like, it's an easy rank. A rank gets kind of a bit difficult, but it's still fairly easy to get the grasp of, if you get what I'm saying. Now, we're on to the Rainmaker mode. By far, probably my best gameplay from this. Rainmaker mode, by far, was super easy. So this is more of capture the flag that's in the middle of the map and bring it to the enemy spawn. Now, the flag is a bomb. Like, both literally, and you're shooting out grenade blast bombs of ink. This thing is super powerful. It's on a timer. It's on a 60-second timer, which is actually like 30 seconds, kind of like 30 seconds. Like I said back in Splat Zones, like every second is about a half second, give or take more. Now, this weapon is extremely powerful. It pushes knockback also. So if you fall off the map with this weapon, the weapon will spawn somewhere near where you fell off the map, because you can't get the weapon if it fell off the map into, say, the water. So spawn somewhere near the water, and you have to get this weapon and bring it to the enemy spawn. The weapon is amazing, but you need your team to push up ahead of you. You also got to make sure there's kind of no flankers. You have a very powerful weapon. You don't want to die from said while holding this powerful weapon. You will be the main target when holding this powerful weapon, because, well, you're essentially the flag, and you are you are the biggest threat essentially. It's an explosion. Second thing also, you cannot super jump with this powerful weapon. It is heavy. Your little legs can't jump that fast, and also your little legs probably wouldn't survive the impact from the I was about to call it the super soaker from the Rainmaker. This weapon is amazing. By far, this is the only mode where I jump from C- to B because I got so many knockouts with it. It is fairly simple. Another thing that you might want to know is when you're like mounting the gun on the platform, the flag, the gun, the fish, whatever you want to count it, you have invincibility. Well, I would say invincibility. Essentially, you can't die. You'll be at 1 HP if people are constantly trying to shoot you while you're placing this thing up. So once you are in the air and you see the animation, you won. Once the enemy team's in the air and you see that animation, you lost. Like, you can't do anything about that. The best thing about this is, well, if you like holding on to powerful weapons and know how to use it, if you know how to corner check and all that, you'll be fairly good with this weapon. The tennis missiles are also a really good special I like to carry with this due to the fact of a lot of the group stays clustered together, and tennis missiles are really good when they're grouped up together. Like, I splatted, I think, 3 out of 4 members of the team, and then my other teammates finished it up because they were so focused on getting the Rainmaker, they essentially forgot that I put out tennis missiles, and it was too late. They were all dying from the splash damage that the tennis missiles do. So we got the we got the Rainmaker, and we headed straight to the point and won the game. It was fairly simple. You're not slowed down when holding the Rainmaker, but you do have a very big shine. And also, you are marked for the entire way when you have the Rainmaker. You are marked with the logo of ranked. So keep that in mind. You are always seen. Now, on to Clam Blitz. This is this is the only mode I can't really compare to anything because it's so strange. I would compare it to like football, essentially, because it does have a goalpost for football. But first off, somebody has to collect 10 clams. When you have 10 clams, this is very important. There's an icon, just like in Rainmaker, that shows exactly where that football is. No matter where you go, no matter how far you go, everyone will see this football. On top of that, there is an audio cue that tells the other team that you have a football. The only way to get inside that goal is to get a football. So once they see one of you get enough clams, because once you get 10 clams, you can't separate them. Once they see one of you get enough clams, they will focus you down and make sure you regret having a football. The bright side of having all 10, they can't steal your football because it's made of your team's color, and that's about it. But if you have 9 clams, and then you can find, say, 1 clam off in the distance to get a football near the enemy spawn and they haven't noticed you can throw it in there and get a nice touchdown. Now, Clam Blitz is probably the hardest one out of all the modes to get a knockout on. Due to the fact of, one, you can super jump with the giant football and all, but they'll see you flying through the air and they know where your little marker is. Unless you have the drop roll, you're pretty much screwed. Clam Blitz is probably my least favorite mode of all of them. Tower control would be like the first, but it's weird. Like, it's hard to explain. One of the benefits is the game mode encourages you to splat the most floor due to the fact that you'll see shells through the wall if they're on your ink. It's like a homing beacon, essentially. It's like a little dot, and you'll actually get as soon as you can see the clams, you can go and collect it. That's one of the benefits of having map control in this game. Because other modes, you really don't need map control except for in a set area, so other teams can flank behind and probably kill you. That's what I've done a lot in these gameplays. Clam Blitz is definitely just a strange one. It's hard to really explain. Also, you got to get enough clams. But as soon as the goal's open, because I got to get back to how you actually score. As soon as the goal's open, it's open for around like maybe 7 seconds. Once you start, you can throw in manual clams now. So say like if I had 10 clams and I have football and my other team have 9 clams, essentially I can throw the football in and then my team can constantly throw in the clams to go and it'll increase the timer, and then that's how you get a knockout. Now, again, you got to either play defensively or you can play offensively. If you can take out the entire team with they knowing exactly where your position is, then go ahead and go get a football and throw it in there. If you think you can sneak up with 9 clams and get the 10th clan over somewhere near the goal, go for it. But sometimes you have to play really defensively in this game, like really defensively. My team was losing like terribly, like they were absolutely awful, and I had to play real defensively. And there's just some things that doesn't, like, you can only take out so many people when they're coming at once that you fold eventually and you die, and then since you're carrying your teammates, it's not really gonna be, well, easy. It's not gonna be hard for the enemy team to just wipe them out and then keep scoring. But all in all, ranking up in this game is fairly fun. Well, ranking up in ranked is fairly fun. I still got a bone to pick up with actually leveling up. Leveling up sucks. Plain out and simple. It really sucks. It's based off primarily off of win lost, which in ranked I don't have a problem with, but they could have put extra incentives in this mode for ranking up. Like somebody that gets the most kills, because that's actually very important. Punishing people by killing them is probably one of the most effective ways of winning. Once you kill somebody, you essentially lower their special meter. And if you keep doing that, they'll have no special meter unless they go build it up by painting the floor somewhere else, and then they could possibly turn the tides of the game. But killing people is very important. Using your specials can be very important also. Staying alive is very important. And the last thing that they could have done is how many people are doing the objective. Now, since ranked is an objective play, those are 4 like stats you can do to help leveling up in this game. Kills, how many specials are used, how many deaths you had. If you had the least amount, you should win. And playing the objective. If somebody's being a true team player, they should honestly earn more experience than anybody else. Carrying people can be fun. I've done it a lot, especially in Rainmaker, and especially in Tower Control. But one thing that probably irks me the most is when I'm leveling up and I have 29 kills, which I haven't gotten. I was going to say 19. When I have 29 kills, and the same person with only 5 kills get the same amount of experience, it's not fair. I did all the work. I should be rewarded more. They get the same amount for me winning. Yeah, that's what carrying does, but I want more if I do better. I want the person who is carrying me, because sometimes I get carried. I swear, like, I'm gonna say, dang, this team is really doing all the work while I'm building up my special here. While they're doing all the work, they should get more stuff than me. They should get more money than me. They should get more experience than me. My point is, there should be more experience rewards for this type of stuff. It shouldn't be based primarily. It should be based primarily on win-loss, but there should be like at least about a third of the experience should be more off of how you performed in the game, not primarily off of win-loss. Another thing they could add to this game are double XP weekends. Honestly, you only have a set amount of double XP you can get in this game from Krusty Sean's food truck. You only can get 20 triple, 20 double, 20 1.5. Same goes with money and other ability things. Essentially, there needs to be a better XP. I've seen somebody with over 1,000 hours in this game and they're still not max rank. It is ridiculously slow. Why 1,000 hours of you playing a game doesn't give you max rank? And then they have a prestige mode at that. Like, I still haven't seen somebody get a prestige mode in this game. Like, it is a lot of time you have to put in if you want to rank up. The bright side about this, after level 30, you can have every weapon in the game. That's the bright side, but getting to level 30, because in one play session for an hour, and I was only rank 15, and I was partially in it too, I didn't rank up. Like, I was playing ranked, I was getting knockouts, and I was winning with high score, because there's like, getting a knockout, you get 2,500 essentially, and getting a say getting close to the payload on tower control, say like you got in like within like 10 points within the payload, you still get a fairly high, you still get about like 2,400 roughly in it. You should be like ranking up it. I mean, leveling up is so like minuscule between knockout and actually winning. It's like doesn't really matter. So you could either go for the knockout, which I recommend, because going for knockouts are just satisfying when you just crush the enemy team, especially when you crush the enemy team in less than a minute. The looks on their faces, I could only imagine. They get nothing. Like, they don't get no money, they don't get no XP, because they were under a minute. You crushed them that badly that they're under a minute and you can't do anything. Now, the last thing I'm going to do for this video is discuss rank. Like, well, the individual ranks from C- all the way to S+. I've only been to A-, so from what I can gather, this is what I'm kidding. C- is placements. If you were in C- after placements, you pretty much suck, and you should probably try to get better at the game. C and C+ is still within like the placement range, but if you're like stuck down in there, again, get better. I'm sorry, that's the only way I can actually tell you. Like, practice more, try to get a couple friends and see if you can learn some strats. Maybe change your weapon, change up your playstyle, other things like that. B is when it gets a bit tougher, but I didn't have that much of a bad experience in B. It's still fairly easy. It's like people coming out of their placements, because usually the first time I came out of my placements, I was a C+. Then I got to B-, and then B+, and then A-. Yeah, it's not too difficult to actually have B is not very difficult at all. You should just climb straight up if you're a good enough player. It's not hard. A is where it starts to get a bit more difficult, because you get like the intermediate players, and I'm pretty sure S class is just all the good players. And if I decide to play the game that much and get to S, which I don't know, I might come back every once in a while to play this game, because it's fairly fun. I just don't like the leveling system at all. Like, ranking up is fun. It's very rewarding. It's fast enough. Actually, I wouldn't mind if like ranking up and leveling up was switched up. I know it sounds very weird, but a ranking system is I don't mind a slow ranking system. I don't like a slow leveling system. Like, ranking, you could be slow all you want. The climb is kind of like a motivator. I'm so close, I'm so close, I'm so close. But leveling up, if I'm not getting enough progress in there, then I'm not going to get it. Now, another thing you might want to consider, which I'm not considering, from what I can tell, motion controls are fairly decent in this game. I can't do it on a shooter. I can't do motion controls on a shooter. I wouldn't try. But yeah, if you think you can play motion controls very fine, then go ahead and play motion controls. It's fun and all that other stuff. You can like turn on people really fast with motion controls, i.e. instead of stick, but I'm a stick guy. Like I play with stick. There's nothing I'm gonna do. I've grown up on stick. Yeah, it's more of a PC feeling from what I can gather. With motion controls, like you can just snap aim to somebody. It's just you got to really practice with motion controls because they can be wonky. But if you get good with them, then yeah, you can do fairly well. Honestly, that's about it. This video was planned to be like months ago, but I fell off the game and other things. Well, I decided to come back. It was a fun trip coming back to Splatoon. It was also a nice treat to see how the game evolved. And again, coming from somebody who hasn't played this game in months, honestly, it feels like years. I came back and I pretty much pub stomped in ranked. Like it was easy. Like easy peasy, lemon squeezy, guys. It was not difficult at all. And saying this is somebody who did know the maps. I know they're completely symmetrical. Can I talk? I know they're completely symmetrical. And, well, they do have their little things. But I came back and kicked some booty and ranked up. It wasn't hard. It was fun. Hey, if you didn't like Splatoon 2's Turf War, then you probably like ranked. But it's going to take you a good probably 8 hours to get from level 1 to level 10. So if you don't like Turf Wars that much, then you might have to deal with it. But again, ranked is the primary mode of this game. And it has the most modes in it. It has objectives, which are fairly fun. The only downside I say to Turf Wars is, well, non-ranked, is that you can't really practice in a ranked setting. Like, you don't, like, there's no non-ranked ranked mode. Like, the only way you can do that is getting a bunch of buddies and playing ranked over and over and over again to simulate what ranked is gonna be. But that's the only way you can practice. Like, I wish there was more ways you could actually practice the game other than just going into ranked. Kind of like how Overwatch does it, where you could just play non-ranked and then play as many ranked or non-ranked games, and they're pretty much the same. They have a bit more time and stuff. But with this said, I'm kind of rambling on. This video is, hold on. Holy crap, this video looks like it's going on 30 minutes. I didn't think I was going to be talking for that long about ranked. But that's all I really have to say. But this has been your Ken, the Yoshkin, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.